Welcome to Voice of Success by I.Aryanpour. Today, we are not here to chase motivation. We are here to understand why success happens and why it doesn't. There is a simple proverb that carries a powerful truth. What comes out of the jar is what is inside the jar. This is not poetry. This is a law of life. Many people ask, why do I work hard but stay in the same place? Why do my efforts not turn into results? Why do my dreams remain dreams? The answer is uncomfortable but honest. Life does not give us what we wish. Life reveals what we carry. In the next few minutes, we will uncover how your daily inputs, your thoughts, habits, choices, and influences silently shape your outcomes, your success, and your destiny. Stay with until the end, because this message applies to every level, every profession, and every definition of success. This is Voice of Success, where clarity creates direction.
All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're not talking about some quick motivation hack or a secret shortcut. We're talking about a law of life. It's a principle that's so simple, yet so incredibly powerful. It explains pretty much everything, why some people succeed and why others just stay stuck. And it all comes down to a simple idea about what's inside a jar.
So there it is. What comes out of the jar is what is inside the jar. It sounds almost ordinary, doesn't it? But I'm telling you, within that one simple sentence is the entire blueprint for success and failure in literally every part of your life.
And I really want to be crystal clear about this. This isn't some feel-good quote you're supposed to put on a poster and then forget about. No, this is an inescapable rule. It's like gravity. It doesn't care if you believe in it, it just is. It governs everything you achieve, who you become, and the reality you experience day to day.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this law, we've got to break down the metaphor. It's pretty simple. What exactly is the jar, and what's the stuff coming out of it?
Well, the jar, that's you. It's the container for your entire internal world. We're talking about your mind, the deep beliefs you hold to be true, all the information you feed yourself every single day, and of course, that constant little voice inside your head, your inner dialogue. That's the jar.
And the output? Well, that's everything on the outside. It's your tangible results, the way you act when you're under pressure, the number in your bank account, the quality of your relationships. Really, it's your destiny. The output is just a perfect mirror of what's inside.
I mean, the logic is just impossible to argue with, right? You absolutely cannot pour sweet honey from a jar that's filled with poison. It's just not going to happen. And it's the exact same for us. You cannot produce discipline from a mind that is filled with chaos, or create wisdom from a mind that only consumes ignorance. You see, the world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are.
So, this brings us to the most important question of all. If the output is totally determined by the contents, then what exactly is inside your jar?
For a lot of people, the first instinct is to look everywhere but inside the jar. They'll blame the economy or their upbringing or the fact they didn't go to a fancy school or just chalk it up to plain old bad luck. They see the entire world as the source of their problems.
But here is the really uncomfortable truth. Pressure doesn't change what's in the jar. All it does is shake it up and make the contents pour out for everyone to see. Life isn't being unfair, it's just being incredibly accurate. It simply reveals what was already inside you all along.
Think about it. When life shakes things up, maybe a project fails, the economy gets tough, you have a personal setback, what comes pouring out of you? A prepared mind, one that's been filled with knowledge and resilience? Well, it pours out solutions. But an unprepared mind, one filled with blame and negativity, it pours out excuses. Same pressure, totally different contents.
And this uncovers a really crucial idea. Success isn't random. It's not a lottery ticket. It follows a very strict, very predictable law of inputs and outputs.
The rule couldn't be simpler. You cannot get an output if you didn't first put in the input. If you want the output of confidence, the input must be deliberate practice. You want wealth, the input has to be financial knowledge. You want to be a leader, the input is taking responsibility. And peace, that demands the input of discipline and clarity. There are just no shortcuts around this.
And yet, this is the fundamental mistake so many people make. They crave these high-level results, success, wealth, happiness, but they're feeding themselves a constant diet of low-level inputs. They scroll through social media outrage, they listen to cynical podcasts, they complain with their friends, and then they stand back and wonder why their lives aren't changing. So let's just broaden our idea of what inputs really are, because this isn't just about the books you read or the courses you take. Oh no,
It's much more subtle and much more constant than that.
Success isn't built in some big, grand moment. It is forged in thousands of small, invisible daily choices. Who are you really listening to? The mentor who challenges you or the coworker who just wants to complain with you? What are you watching every single day? Something that expands your mind or something that just numbs it? What negative behavior are you tolerating? What are the stories you keep repeating to yourself? What crucial truths are you choosing to ignore? These are the real inputs.
Here's a perfect example. Two people face the exact same business failure. The first person, whose jar is filled with accountability and a growth mindset, asks, "Okay, what can I learn from this?" The second person, whose jar is filled with victimhood, immediately asks, "Who can I blame?" It's the same event, the same pressure, but because of those different inputs, they are now on two completely different life paths. And this brings us to the final, and I think the most empowering part of this law. Since you can't change the law itself, your only point of power, your only move, is to consciously choose what you put into the jar.
You know, a lot of people say, but I work so hard. And they're probably right. But effort without the right input is just exhaustion. That's all it is. If you fill your mind with flawed advice from some random influencer and then work tirelessly, you're just driving faster toward a cliff. Success isn't about working harder. It's about choosing better inputs.
So before you ever ask yourself, why is my life like this? Again, I want you to stop. And I want you to ask a better, more powerful question. Ask yourself this: what am I putting into my jar every single day? And be brutally honest. The answer to that question is the answer to everything else. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. Life is the great revealer. It never, ever lies. Whatever results you are getting in your life right now, good or bad, are a perfect reflection of what you've allowed inside. Because what comes out of the jar was always inside the jar.
Thank you for listening to Voice of Success. If this message helped you, share it with someone who needs clarity. Subscribe for wisdom that builds not just motivation, but direction. Your future is listening to what you choose today.